Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, I thought we'd switch some things up and talk about these Exemplar artifacts, which, in short, for those of you who may or may not know, are basically a new accessory, add-on accessory, however you might see it, that the game has implemented, which effectively is something that, yes, even though you can acquire it, as a free to play without spending anything, you can get there a little faster by spending. And some of the effects are pretty good, making it so that it has now become, and what could be, how war pets started out, which eventually people thought like, okay, war pets are getting added. Maybe it's not something. I'm talking like when they initially released. You didn't hear this like massive surge of people like, oh my God, everyone needs to get a war pet. You need to max this out. It's the best thing since sliced bread. No, it was more of like, okay, let's like wait and see kind of an approach. Like, okay, it's not really like that massively important, but obviously we'll kind of work on it as we get there. And eventually it transitioned into, oh no, this is, a major part of something that you need to have a game plan for, essentially, right? Prioritize at a certain point, depending on if you are on one side of the spectrum or the field being free to play and the other side of it being, heavy spend. And so to me, it feels like since that moment, now with the addition of the Exemplar artifacts, it almost feels as though, okay, well, we've kind of learned our lesson from the war pet situation. These are pretty good. Let's focus. So I just want to talk about this a little bit and show you some numbers and some data that people have put together. And I just want to share my thoughts. So as always, if you do the content, make sure you throw us up because it helps out a lot. Thanks. Okay, let's get into the first bit here, which is let's just do like a quick review for what I've gathered. So it's 2,000 forge keys to unlock. You have you exchange 6 legendary emblems per wish, meaning you have to scrap those. We'll show you some screenshots here in a moment. Artifact emblems are used to ascend the artifacts. 6 of them get you a wish. 30% to get desired exemplar. 70% for standard exemplar, right? It lets you pick the two. From what I understand, from what people have said, is you have to get both of them in order to then choose 2 new ones. Every 5 wishes gets you a desired artifact. So you got to sack 30 legendary emblems that you don't need anymore for your artifacts. You must get 2 desired wish artifacts before you can update it, as we stated. If you get a duplicate exemplar, it counts as 1 legendary emblem towards wishing again, which means that if you used 6 legendary, you get 1 back, right? If you basically pull a double. Would have been nice if they gave you a 50% return back. Maybe that'll change. There's currently 14 unique exemplars with more that will be added along the way. The additional effect exemplars will have an additional effect text written on the card. That's important, right? So compared to you just getting a standard exemplar versus the additional effect one that I imagine everyone would want, it has to say that and have that text written on the card. So to give you some screenshots right from the page, because obviously I don't have that many, so I don't have it unlocked yet, but I can show you at least some of the rules here, right? So it says, right, exemplars can only be obtained consuming legendary artifact emblems via the wish, right? Each wish guarantees 1 exemplar. You can select 2, right, every 5. Once both desired exemplars are acquired, you'll need to reselect, right? So we stated that before. You can select 2 desired exemplars before making a wish. Every 5 wishes get you guaranteed. Once your desired exemplar is acquired, right, you'll go. You may change your selections anytime before acquiring them. Each exemplar wish guarantees an exemplar. If you already own an exemplar, and duplicates will be converted into artifact emblems. Notice how this text says plural when it should probably read singular. Unless something has been changed or updated since I was told, that could always be the case. If not, again, probably a little text opportunity update there. If you do not own any an exemplar's corresponding legendary artifact, any duplicate exemplars will be converted into the corresponding legendary artifact. Okay. The chance of receiving an exemplar with additional effects is 30%, while the chance of receiving other exemplars is 70%. Okay. This is how it looks if you are consuming the artifacts, the legendary artifact emblems. You guys have to choose from your inventory, right? And then bam, you get a wish there. Now, Reborn or Fasar says, so shout out to Fasar, he says the basic options to unlock exemplars are weekly Forge of Light, keys from goblins only would equal 8 years. And I imagine that's only if you did that. If you add monthly packs in, that's 291 for those. It'd be 3 years. If you add in daily deals on top of monthly packs, on top of weekly FOL, you'd get there in a year and 5 months. Now, I don't know. I'm imagining maybe this is for one exemplar because I don't think that they had indicated if this was for multiple. So I'll just go off and just say, okay, this could be for one. Because obviously, well, to be fair, I think what we're talking about is unlocking, right? So I believe it's hitting that 2K mark to unlock, is what this is based on. Decreasing the time to unlock Exemplar any further will cost significantly more than this since other packs are much lower value for money. Okay. Fasar also continues to write a little bit more of a detailed breakdown and says, okay, did some more math. Considering a new scenario which assumes that you buy the daily deal bundle every day, daily deal adds 1.2K gems per day, equals 2 times FOL keys per day, equals 14 times FOL keys per week. So total FOL keys gained per week, 14, plus 12.875 equals 26.875 keys per week. See previous post. That means it takes you about a year and 5 months to unlock Exemplar, which is the feature, if you buy the daily deal bundle every day and keep the monthly packs active. Following this method will cost you $139 monthly packs, 1,566 daily deals, US 1,705 total, $1,705 total dollars. Of course, gems will be received in game from many other sources, so times and costs will be smaller in reality, but these are conservative estimates, which again is the point. Just assuming the player spends money and or the time to unlock the Exemplar. So it's a lot. It takes a lot of time and potentially a lot of money, and if you're free to play, it's probably not that bueno. I should say this as well. Renegade posted this saying, also, please note that the progress for unlocking Exemplar Wish will be displayed through the Forge of Light's info section. Currently, the event has not been launched, so it is temporarily unavailable for viewing. However, it would be nice if it was just already viewable, right? Like if you just had a passive number. I think everyone would appreciate that. Next, Snowball, who is, again, one of the top free-to-play players in the game, says, I'm free to play with 990 consecutive logins. I think he has the most, if not the second most consecutive logins in the game. I think it is the most because I think he started in Kingdom 2. Only have, it's either 1 or 2. Only have around 300 keys because not every week I can buy 5 keys. Means I can open Exemplar feature in 8 to 9 years playing this game. He also went on to say, like, okay, if you could buy the 600 gems for 1 key per week and get 5 keys means 2,000 forge keys needs 400 weeks. 400 weeks, almost 8 years. For you as a free-to-play, right, is it hard to get 1,000 artifact coins to exchange? I asked him. He says, not hard or easy, but still able to get. Sometimes I only exchange 3 or 2 per week, not 5, because my coins are not enough. Do you think the average free-to-play player who is in more of a low-spending alliance, would it be difficult for them to acquire 5 per week? He said the ratio to get universal keys are almost the same for every free-to-play, even in lower high-spend alliance. The difference is about their luck to get many purple artifacts to exchange coins. I always open 200 universal keys every season and exchange an art to get around 3,500 coins. Also can get them from dark chests and dark arts. So yeah, I guess all in all, when I look at this, it just, I guess when you look at the numbers, it feels at face value that this takes a lot of time. I mean, I feel like once they update the numbers or they update the feature and we could see how many keys everyone has to go until they unlock it. And I can ask the free-to-play group and say like, hey, where are you guys at right now? And I can give everyone an average, and I'll do an update video on that as well. So for anyone that's in our free-to-play group, if you're watching this, whenever that event comes out or whenever you find out how many keys you have, or if everybody wants to just ask support how many keys you have left to go to hit your 2K mark, let me know. Maybe I'll even do an announcement there to ask them. But worst case, all right, we can wait for the event to come out. because I think that will really be a tell. I may even add that to our free-to-play stats too as well to see how far along people are, because that I think is going to be a big indicator in, again, because I guess my point overall is it already feels as though it's not free-to-play friendly and it's more spender friendly based on how it looks. I understand if you want to make and add some kind of grinding element where, for example, it can only be done through free-to-play means, meaning you can't spend to unlock it. To me, that would have been one thing. I actually would have appreciated if they made unlocking the exemplars purely free-to-play, right? Meaning that you can't spend any gems to get more keys, as an example, right? Like you couldn't purchase something in game. You had to go and do an action. That's I guess more of where I'm going with it. That would have been something, I think, just to unlock the exemplar feature. Then of course, if you want to spend on stuff to get more legendary artifacts, whatever it may be, okay, right? I might be okay with that. But at least the act of getting to that starting line of having it opened, that would have been nice if it was a little bit different. So yeah, I don't know if I want to say it rubs me the wrong way, but it's a hard pill to swallow, respectfully. If I'm objectively looking at this from the outside in, it doesn't come across to me as, hey, we wanted, we asked, the team either went to go ask the community, like, hey, what do you think we should set this number at? Or thought, okay, well, what is like the longest amount of time if they're just like regularly grinding it, right? Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. If you're an active free to play, there's a good chance it's probably not going to take you 8 years. It'll take you less than that. But just to show you what the hard conservative numbers are up to amount, I mean, maybe it would take some people over 8 years, right? Even if you are, who knows? I don't know if any free to play player is going to be playing this for 8 years. That doesn't mean to say that the game would be worth playing for 8 years or longer. It's just, you see a feature like this, you look at the initial numbers. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I mean, I feel like I have seen other people post and talk about this and say that, yeah, it feels like it's a little bit too long. It takes too long to get it. The 2K prerequisite number is too high. I'd be curious, what do you guys think the number should be? I could maybe see 1,000. Like maybe somewhere between, because you have to think about this from a new account perspective, not from where you guys are currently. I think maybe somewhere around 500 to 1,000, maybe 750, give or take. Something like that to me feels like, okay, that's a little bit more in line now than maybe 2,000, because I'm looking at it from like a brand new player perspective. I think as a brand new player, maybe something like 500 is more appropriate. I understand probably why they set it higher that way, because there is a healthy amount of people that have been playing the game for a while, so they probably have a certain amount of keys. But I would almost be curious to see how many players have it unlocked versus those that don't have it unlocked, who've been playing for about the same amount of time. That, to me, I feel like that number would be skewed completely in one direction, which is like handful of people unlocked, majority not unlocked. And maybe that's how it is now. Regardless, I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. That's what's going on. That's my take. We'll see. We'll see what happens once that update comes out and we can actually see the numbers for events. I don't think we'll be able to see other people's stats. I think the individuals will be able to see it. So it'll be a matter of like them finding out and then us hearing about it. All right. That's it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.